Chicago.
Back on the show, all about small business jobs and entrepreneurship. And speaking of small business, there's an organization that I've admired for a very long time. Small Business Majority, a nonprofit with a network of 55,000 small business owners nationwide and an office in Chicago. And I'm thrilled to have Geri Aglipay on the program. Geri manages Small Business Majority's outreach efforts in the greater Chicagoland area and the Midwest region. And so appreciate you having you on the program. Welcome to Get Down to Business.
Great. Thank you for having me, Shalom. Good evening.
Good evening. Well, it's great to have you. And I know that you're working on so many different initiatives. And I can't wait to talk to you about many of them today and certainly have you on in the future, all about small business. But in particular, I know you've been working closely with the Chicago City Treasurer, a frequent guest on Get Down to Business, Kurt Summers. And you've recently launched a new online lending tool called SimpleGrowth. Geri, do you mind telling us a little bit about it?
Yeah, SimpleGrowth is actually a marketplace, online marketplace lending portal developed by Small Business Majority in partnership with Fundera and Axion to help local small businesses access the financing that they need in a very safe and responsible manner. Unlike other lending options, SimpleGrowth is a lending portal, which is a one-stop shop application portal, which connects Chicagoland small businesses to mission-based lenders, safe and flexible financing. But what they also offer is connection to the lender that will also create a relationship with that person and help them to develop their business operations if they're not quite yet ready for a loan, to get them loan ready as well.
That's incredible. And small businesses are it's spoken about so frequently. I feel that we are the lifeblood of the economy, but often the resources that are provided to this so important segment of the economy are not in line with the resources that are provided perhaps to our larger counterparts. But even within small businesses, there are many businesses that are not given all of the opportunities that they deserve, including some women in business and including some minority-owned businesses. And I know that Small Business Majority has been very focused on that issue, and you actually recently held an event November 7th. Tell us a little bit about some of your outreach efforts and I guess some of your advocacy efforts trying to make an impact.
Well, the events that we're doing are around SimpleGrowth. As you may know, Shalom, small business bank lending has been down, especially since the recession hit in 2008. In fact, Small Business Administrator Karen Mills authored a paper at Harvard Business School that increasingly traditional banks are less focused on lending to small business owners. So what's happening is that you have on average 8,000 loans that are declined on a daily basis in this country for small business owners. And because the larger traditional banks aren't lending as much, what happens is that what we're seeing is an increase of mission-based lenders, and CDFIs fill that void as well. Now, these mission-based lenders, such as community development financial institutions, are certified by the Department of Treasury, or they can be community banks and credit unions as well. But they are there to actually, their original mission is to support small business owners. And one of the focus of SimpleGrowth isn't just to fill that void of small business lending, but for SimpleGrowth especially, acknowledging that there is a dearth of economic activity, most especially in the Chicago South, Southwest, and West sides, in terms of small businesses being key indicators for economic development. We're really trying to help promote SimpleGrowth, not just throughout all of Greater Chicagoland, but a concerted effort in Chicago's Southwest and Southwest sides to especially the underserved business owners, which are traditionally women and minorities. Women tend to get approximately half the funding that they need, and minorities tend to also get about a fraction of the loan amounts that they need, generally because women and minorities come from a place where their assets are not as large as other small business owners who may be starting up as well. So SimpleGrowth is designed to help for all small businesses and enterprises in Greater Chicagoland, but a concerted effort to minority and underserved communities, especially women and minority firms that are most vulnerable to predatory lending practices, which is why City Treasurer Kurt Summers, who's been a fantastic supporter of this effort. We are trying to promote simple growth to those small business owners. You were correct. We recently held an event for women entrepreneurs in the south side of Chicago with the Greater South West Development Corporation to increase women entrepreneurs' knowledge of ways to access capital and talking about the Simple Growth program. We got a lot of interest from the participants at that event.
And Geri, I have to admit, I'm jealous that I wasn't able to be there, although I did spread the word about it.
Oh, but you're a male, Shalom.
I know. And I heard from one of the participants that were there that I believe one of the speakers, Ramona Thomas, who's the owner of My Chocolate Soul, spoke about her experiences applying for and gaining capital. So anybody that has a business called My Chocolate Soul, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty cool. But Geri, I have to ask, you've talked a lot about the resources being provided on the small business side and on the entrepreneurial side, which is just so important, and certainly we'll do all we can on this program to get the word out about all of those resources. But interestingly enough, Simple Growth is really all about, as you said, it's basically a lending tool, summing it up, that easily connects Chicago businesses. But I think the buzzword is to local lenders. And why don't you tell us a little bit about that? We know of all the big names in the world of banking and financial services, but I believe the secret over here, and the really important thing that I know Kurt has been so focused on, is making sure that the city is doing business with local financial institutions. And you believe that small businesses can do the same thing and keep the money within a sort of our borders.
Correct. What Simple Growth does is it's actually free, first of all, for anybody who's listening. There is no cost to go through the application for Simple Growth process. It matches the borrower or would-be borrower to local Chicago-based lenders only. And what that does is it makes sure that they're connected to a mission-based lender who is in Chicagoland, has a physical location, has staff dedicated to growing that small business in their local neighborhood, to make that small business owner thrive, contributes to the local economy and their customers and or clients who then, patronize that small business, continue to patronize that business owner. And what you see then is that impact of that small business and the local customers having an impact of more economic activity in that neighborhood and revitalization of those neighborhoods as well, in concert with other economic investments that are occurring.
That's fantastic.
And so some of the lenders that you'll see on there are Axion Chicago is one of the lenders, and a great partner of ours across the country and here in Chicago as well. LISC, small business, and that's LISC, small business as well. And the Women's Business Development Center, all fabulous lenders who, make sure that the borrower gets not only the financing that they need and is safe, but also develops a relationship with the borrower, which I think is key to what these Chicago-based lenders have as a unique characteristic.
That's fantastic. And briefly, in our final minute remaining, I know that in this day and age, so many topics are politicized, and certainly these past few weeks, there's been a lot of feelings about the most recent tax plan that the Senate just voted on. But I believe that small business is a nonpartisan issue. And if you don't mind, just briefly share a little bit about some of the other advocacy efforts that Small Business Majority is involved in. And of course, please tell us how to get involved and how to get in touch.
Fabulous. Well, some of the advocacy issues that we're concerned with reflect with what we find nationally small business owners find most pressing for themselves. Healthcare is, of course, always cited across the country as a concern. It's something that small business owners want to have. It's a benefit that they find that's helpful to launching their business, actually, as well. Other issues that we're engaged in, of course, are taxes and budget issues. Retirement security is an issue that we're engaged with across the country and here in Illinois, making sure that small business owners have the tools that they need to understand retirement security.
Geri, we're going to have to leave it there. If you don't mind, tell us how to get in touch.
www.smallbusinessmajority.org.
Fantastic. Smallbusinessmajority.org. Geri Aglipay, we appreciate having you on the program. And certainly, please keep us posted about all of the events and activities you're involved in. We'd love to help you spread the word.
Yes, and SimpleGrowth.biz.
SimpleGrowth.biz. We'll be right back. More Get Down to Business.
Not a day goes by